Check, check, check. Check, check. Check. 1, 2. Am I back, guys? Check. Stand by, everybody. Right with you, having some technical things going on. Check. I don't think I've got any audio going here. Check. Are you guys able to hear me in Discord? Are you guys able to hear me in Discord? All right, YouTube is still a problem. YouTube is not working by the looks of it. Okay, let's go. It's not the stress on the PC. It's another issue. Thanks, Stephen. Sorry, buddy, for the technical difficulties here. Trying to get them sorted out. Just another moment on this, if I can. Guys, if you're in YouTube, I don't think I can resolve these issues. There's a link down there. If you want to come to the Bookmap Discord Trader Lab community, I am able to stream there. There's no cost. And apologies again for the problem. Let's try. Okay. Let's see. All right, I'm going to try this again. Yeah, this seems to be a YouTube thing or an OBS software issue. So anyway, sorry guys. So anyway, first trade was to the ETH high, looking for a high probability to take out yesterday's high and squeeze out the shorts. And as we say, no bueno. I'm still having trouble. have to close some things down here. Okay. Guys, if you're in YouTube, I am not going to be able to see any questions you post. I've had to close it down on my end. I am still streaming, but I cannot see your questions. Come to the Discord chat. There's a link down there if you want to ask questions or to actually see this. So right here, we get VPOC migration. This suggests continuation. We are at the overnight volume point of control. That's the retail price. So right here, I'm looking for continuation up towards the targets. I just want you to know that's what I'm doing. And what happens, happens, right? So this is important to hold this area, and this is the outside edge of the distribution. So this is important here and here for support. And so at this point, everything is okay. Now, there are a couple things I see up here that give me pause, but counter rotations are not unreasonable. So right in here, I come down, and now I'm coming out here and out here. So this is my support area. I see my buyers here, so I'm okay. But I also know this volume up here is resistance. Now, I know that, but I'm trading multiple time frames, and as long as I'm above the overnight VPOC and I have this, I'm still looking for that. So nothing has changed yet. So, however, when I come up here and the buyers were in control right there, let's take a look here. Right here. So this is a consolidation. So we can take a look at this. And again, for me, this is resistance. But until things break, they're not broke. You've heard that, right? So let's take a look at this. And if you look to the right, you'll see got to try to get this pretty close. This is the distribution that's created by this volume. So this is an auction. Too low, see where the buyers are, absorbing the sellers. Too high, there's the icebergs, and there's the sellers. Sellers are here. Buyers are here. Now, I looked at this and I said to myself, well, that's interesting, but I got my support here. You'll notice how these sellers were absorbed. So I'm right in the microstructure here. And we break low. So right here, I know there's trouble in River City, but I don't know if it's just a pullback and then we're going to come back. This is where things get nasty. And again, if you're in YouTube, apologies for the technical issues. Typically, it's because the monkeys are swinging on the vines down here in Costa Rica, but this is something else. So, and a little bit of that too. So I see the sellers here. Now, what do I know? Too high, support, break low, problem. And again, for me, I'm looking at maybe that was just a counter rotation and then to come through. So, but this is a warning Will Robinson moment. Break low. Sellers are now in control. The buyers were here. Break low, warning, test, buyers can't regain control, break. This is really a problem. However, the problem really does not get somewhat confirmed. And I say somewhat because confirmation doesn't exist until we can't get back over this volume here, this right here. And there's the sellers, break low. Now there's a couple possibilities here. And we get VPOC migration. This is a compound event. Let me tell you what it means. What this says is potentially, underlined, too high. VPOC migration suggests new retail price, high volume. So at the moment, the highest volume is here. Here's the possibilities. Check, push high, take this out, which was where I was at, or break low. If I break low, then I have another possibility. It's VWAP to VPOC, or hasta la vista. Let's see what happens. So potentially too high, VPOC migration, push off. This is auction basis, and this is the target, right? And of course, to clear this thing. And what do? Watch. VPOC migration. What does this say in the language of the market? Remember, this is market language. I'm going to mark this. Now the volume is shifted down. And if you want to think of this like shopping, it is saying it's potentially too high. Now, right here, the teeth are starting to chatter a bit because I'm saying this, gee, I think I'm off sides now. So where is support? Here. This is the last place that was too low. This is too high. So when I come out here, I'm coming out to this volume, and the possibility is to come and check this area and then come back here. So that's my next opportunity if this thing is going to be saved. Let's watch. So remember, here, too low, pull back, up, maybe too high, break low, VPOC migration, either up or down, come down here, maybe too low. This sets up a long, looking for a continuation to here. What I did is, because I'm under the overnight volume point of control, and here I am in a state of what's going on. I don't mind telling you that because I trade in a higher time frame. But what's my next thing to observe? VWAP to VPOC. This is a structured trade in the Trader Lab. So I have two things that can happen from here. I have a long from here to here to here to wherever, or I have a long from here to here. And if I get failure here, I have a short. So again, this is trade plan specific. So you can take a long here, you to there, and then to there, if that's your plan. Or you can see the long and wait for the behavior at the mid and the VWAP. That's plan specific. Okay. Also, here's another thing. I was seeing a sweep here, and often what we see at sweeps is a reversal. It didn't happen at the VWAP in the mid. I came down again. I have a sweep. I'm looking for the reversal. It doesn't happen. I have my volume point of control, which was the retail price. And I think of this the auction as what this is all about, is really about shopping. So when a price becomes too low, and now this is the new price, and then the shoppers go, I'm not paying that, what might we do? Well, let's come back to the previous price that was too low. It's very similar to support and resistance, but it's based on volume. It's not based on a line. This is measuring volume. So that's why this is the auction. What creates the auction? Pricing. If this is too low and this becomes too high, let's check too low. If this is still too low, we're going to rotate off it and maybe come back to too high, or run into VWAP in mid and then not so much. So this is either a short or not. Okay? Let's look. Now I'm going to, once we're below here, this sets up shorts only. Okay? So now I've rejected this, I've rejected that, and I break low. I'm below this level. This is saying, and there's one just a little below, so it's like right here, right there, these two. And where do we come back? Right there. I'm going to put a little line there because this came off all the way back to the left because we were auctioning up. It was here and here, okay? These are the two levels where the shoppers said too low. Then in a microstructure, too high. Then in a higher time frame, developing time frame, too high. Too low, break high, break low, test, short. And then the gondola is turned around. Let's watch. Now, these are structured trades. You can learn these. what most traders fail to do is they just are clicking the mouse. You could take yourself out and hit your loss limit quickly if you don't wait for trades. Now let's look at the sweeps. Now this is part of the MBO package, and I think it adds a lot of insight. I use it. In fact, Bookmap actually has it on sale. I think it's 50% off the first month. You can go to bookmap.com, and if you're interested in checking it out, and they have their deals. A lot of deals, Cyber Monday, there's all kinds of stuff coming here. And the MBO package, I think, adds a lot. That's the icebergs, the stops, absorption, all kinds of stuff. So this is resistance, variable. This is where this stuff comes from. Shopping. What was support, becomes resistance. And there's no accuracy in the sense of precision. But do you notice what we check? Isn't this interesting? Now, what's this? I'm going to take you down in, as you guys think, time frame, and I don't use the clock. I'm doing similar things, but I've thrown the clock away because it's the auction. What does it take for these buyers and sellers to determine I'm not paying that? If the resistance now is here and I have my buyers, and right here I have my sellers. So what you got here is the delta. These are the buyers. But when I say you have the buyers, what I also should be saying to you, who are the buyers? Buy stops. And let me show you something I use that's really cool from the MBO Stop and Iceberg package. And this is one of the, among other reasons, the insight it gives me. Now, when you see a green bubble or a buyer in your candle or anything, what do you know what's going on there? When I see a buyer here, even in the delta, which is what this is, I'm seeing buyers, of course, but buy stops. That's what creates delta, because they're all aggressors or market orders. Now, when I come up again to my level and I'm seeing my buyers, I have 44 buy stops. That's wonderful. I pull back. Now I have buyers under here also. You can see the buyer there, and you see the sellers, the delta, being absorbed by the passive side. And the buyers are here and the buyers are here. Going to the moon, Alice. 44 stops. But what is this? Let's come back. I'm in an advanced process in TraderLab. What happens? Now follow me closely. 44 buy stops. This is the MBO. MBO means market buy order. They're tags that come directly from the CME. Every order, they got to know if it's a limit, a stop, a market order, an iceberg, the whole thing. But we have the passive orders that we don't see. So that's part of what we don't see. But what do we see with this? 44 buy stops. Why isn't it going up? I don't know. Buyers are here. Only 13 buy stops. Buyers here. 5 buy stops. This is the only thing I use from indicator world. Divergence. So I'm getting the buyers. I'm seeing the volume or the delta, and I'm not going anywhere. And I'm seeing less of the stops. I'm seeing the icebergs who are passive and limit orders selling into this, okay? And if you're not an iceberg, you're in the limit order book, and we don't see anything. All we see is the delta, and these guys are being absorbed. Does that make sense? How are we doing in YouTube? Are you guys still conscious over there? If you're not, I understand. Sas, I can't talk to you about gold, and I don't know what software you're using, your settings, and the rest. So I can't refer to something I haven't seen. How are we doing in Discord? I'm not even sure I'm in Discord, actually. So guys, absorption, failure, location. This is a short in the TraderLab community. Your micro high volume, I'm going to show you, I'm going to mark it again. So what you got here is resistance, 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 location, location, think real estate, break low, trigger, resistance. Now this becomes a compound structure. Not going to spend time on it, but you can learn this. What I'm sharing here is advanced. Trader Lab is really for traders who want to understand really more advanced processes and trading methodology. It is not indicator based, though you can use indicators if you understand how the market works. The basis of understanding trading is to understand why. You don't know why, and that's not because an indicator crosses over. That's not why. Why does an indicator or anything do anything? It's because of participant behavior. So if I can understand participant behavior, I can activate right here, right here. I can take a short, I can put a stop here or over here and be on my merry way. Now I'm going to take you into microstructure, more advanced. The buyers were here, the sellers are there. When I break under these guys right here, it's a consolidation, break low. Where's my sellers now? They're here. Where's my buyers now? They're there. You see them? Absorption. Sellers are here. That's why this guy didn't go anywhere. The sellers are here. They're in control. And these guys, they're under the bus. We're going to send them a gift basket. Now, right here, microstructure. Let's look at it. So as this auction is proceeding, what I can do, and I'm only saying it's just something to do, what is your time frame or fractal? Well, if I see my buyers here and I know my sellers are here and I get below this absorption, then the sellers are in control still. This guy now is joining those guys under the bus. I break low. What happens here? Where do I test? Here. Where do I test? There. Now, right here, it's a consolidation again. But what do I know? Too high? What do I know here? At the moment, absorption, too high, break low, sellers still in control. What do I know here? Too high? Too high? Buyers take a shot on goal, break low, sorry, Charlie. He gets the coupon to the buffet, and south of the border. Watch. Now what? Micro high volume structure. Now this is getting into minutia. Now what I'm showing you is market mechanics, not what you should do. I'm giving you insight because every trader finds the quote time frame that they operate in. Thanks, Debbie. So right here, let's look at what we're seeing here. Let's just read it together. Buyers are here. I get below the buyer, break low. I come back and test this buyer. And also, where's my resistance? Let's just mark this also as long as we're at it. You see these little toothy things in the profile? So too high. This is coming off of there. Just going to show it to you. Too high. It's an auction. Consolidations are interactions between buyers and sellers. Otherwise, it would just be doing that. So if this is too high and I break away, I'm going to go until I find a change. And then if this microstructure is too high, I'm going to continue. And then what's too high here? This. Buyers are here. Sellers are here. Sellers are here. Sellers are here. Absorption is here. Buyers take a shot. What happened here? These buyers were absorbed by the sellers. Pac-Man. Get out of here. Down we go again. What's too high? This. Why? Here's my buyers. Sellers are below them. Watch. Now I have this. This is super micro. I mean, not usable unless you are trading micro. So what I'm sharing here, because I can't tell anybody what to do. It's not my job, and because we all trade in different time frames and all that, is maybe how you can manage a trade. Now, some traders are going to leave their stop up here, and all this is just nothing. And then because they're going to be going for larger rotations. Other traders are going to use the scalpel and try to tighten it down. The thing about doing that is when we get the inevitable, and it is inevitable, counter rotations, you're going to get taken out when you micromanage, and you need to be okay with that. Now, how do you figure out what's the right thing to do for yourself? It's called vetting, and this is what you would do in the Trader Lab, vetting. What is vetting? Vetting is over time, not the last trade, over time, a large distribution of random rotation. This is all random. We don't know what's going to happen where. We know what might happen. We have statistics to guide us, but how it gets there, if it gets there, sorry, Charlie, we don't know. So you got to let go of predicting. All you can do is align. So let's look. Microstructure right here. How do we know? How about this? No clue. So this shows me high volume here, but where was it too high? Here, because I have a selling micro trigger. Right here, what happens here? I get the buyers now above my sellers. Where have the buyers been above my sellers? Nowhere. See? Now, where's my resistance? It's there. Let's look what happens at my resistance. See the behavior? The sellers that were here are here. There's my buyer. There's my micro high volume. There's my break low. I have my resistance right here. As far as I know, come in here, and why wouldn't it, right? Well, here's why. Because we broke above it. If you're micromanaging, and again, I can't suggest to you what time frame you're operating in. There's traders in Trader Lab that are going to have their stop far outside and live through these rotations, and of course, risk giving back open trade equity, which makes some of us crazy, right? Other traders are looking at the trend and looking at higher time frames and looking for potential targets. Yesterday's low is a target. Remember, the initial trade at the top of the stream was yesterday's high, because that was the orientation on the opening, at least for me. It's over an 80% probability we'll take out yesterday's high or low. Well, if you don't get yesterday's high, what do you got? Yesterday's low. And settlement. Now, we have another structured trade. Do you guys have any questions? I hope you're getting something out of this. And again, apologies for the technical issues. Was I not concerned that we were holding naked volume point of control? Where's our naked volume point of control? I'm not sure what you're referring to. I don't see a naked volume. My naked volume point of control is under, no, I don't have one down here, actually. So I don't have one. I'm not sure what you're referring to. Maybe you can give me a price level. So counter rotation. Now let's look at where our levels are. This is called a low volume node. Now I'm getting into stuff that's a bit advanced, right? Because I trade multiple inputs. When you're looking at this is the volume profile, but it has all the daily, all the volume. Well, what is this? This is a consolidation. We broke away from it. The high volume is there. So this is like a VPOC, if you will, or retail price, and we are away from it. The next level is there, low volume node. And then the microstructure is right out there, that little high volume thing. Okay? Now, we have a trade that sets up at 9:30 Central Time. So we still got and it's called, there's two pieces to it. One is the IB30. So the IB30 is whatever the high or low is, in the first 30 minutes, there's a high probability of taking out the first hour's low in the same direction. So this down here, the IB, which is the first hour, and there's over 90% probability we're going to take out either the first hour's high or low. And given what's going on, I'm leaning this way, wouldn't you? Then if I get a counter rotation, I'm going to look for levels for continuation shorts to fulfill this statistic. And this is Trader Lab trading. So let's go take a look. Where is my short? Where's my outside edge? Well, it's not there. Okay, because we went through it. Oh, what's out here? Low volume. Now, we can go anywhere. This is not the point. And the point is, this is an outside edge. So let's look in the area. Now, the thing about trading, at least what I have found, there's no precision. It's slop. If you're an engineer, you know what slop is. And one of the reasons there's no precision in trading is momentum. So if the market is short like it is now, and we come out over our resistance, everybody, not everybody, but shorter time frame traders, which are typically retail traders who are risk adverse and use a vice grip for risk management, they're all piling their stops out. That creates buyers, and that's momentum. Okay, so we got the stops coming out, and we don't know where we're going. What we know is right here, and I don't know what's going on, don't forget, is a low volume note, because I haven't seen any of this. I have too much fun playing with technical problems. So I'm going to label this. And again, these aren't recommendations. I have no clue. When I'm looking at levels, I'm looking for behavior in the area, not at them. But what I understand in this is the reason there's low volume here, so you understand, is we ran through it. So there was urgency. And when you have low volume, the market and that was created by this, okay, when we broke away. So the market has a tendency to come back into these poorly auctioned areas and operate an auction in them. So let's see what it does. No clue, by the way. So here I get a sweep. So it did not respect this. I don't have a trade here. You don't see a trigger, do you? I see this. I'm in my low volume area right here. I break. So I got my sellers here. I got my buyers here. This is my consolidation. So this is my support. This is my resistance. I come down to support. I need it to break and test. What does it do? Breaks the other way. Uh-oh. Nothing to do. Now watch. Now remember we talked about sweeps. Here I have a sweep. And often what it means, if I get a buy sweep, I'm going to get a reversal. I have my support here, and this is my resistance. My resistance. What happens? Where's my trigger? I break high. So, again, a sweep. So I'm always looking for reversals at sweeps. Watch. Micro high volume structure. Overnight mid and VHVNs up here. And I'm coming through my high volume. This is not clear to me at all. So let's look at it. Sweep, looking for reversal. Sweep, looking for reversal. Doesn't happen. What's going on? Sweep. And now watch the stops. Let's go back to our stops. 93, then 9, then 1. Sweeps, looking for reversal. Right here. 93, 9, 1. Stop divergence. Micro high volume structure is here. And I just look at these things because I'm continually clueless. I'm just not ignorant, but I am really clueless. So my structure is here. My buyers are up here. My stop divergence is here. My micro high volume is right in there and right here. Sellers take over here, and now it's a suspect. Well, let's just watch. Volume is here. Seller is below the buyer. I have my sweep. I have my icebergs. I have my location, and I'm still completely clueless. But watch. What adds to it is the sweep for me and stop divergence. Remember? Selling icebergs. So now, how do you get into this thing? Well, if it breaks here, you're either going to wait for some kind of retracement or you're not going to be on the trade. Where does it come? Here. Now, in order to operate with this, you would have to have your stop out in here. And that's not terrible, you know? So if you got short on this, your stop could be here or there. Let's just see what it does. There you are. And then you're back on the short. Now, here's another thing I have to tell you. If you go, I can't do this, it's probably true. And I can't, with all these lines, I can't make sense of it. Of course not. Why? Because this might be new to you. And the other part of this is it's a language. And let's say you wanted to learn Spanish and you take a trip to Spain. Are you going to be able to interact with the locals? No, unless you spend a lot of time with intentional practice and you learn. Do you want to play a sport? You're not a walk-on, right? You got to learn it. This is what Trader Lab is, and that's why it exists. I hope that makes sense. So this is a short, no entry here, but you see the structure, everything I already talked about. Break low. Now, so right here, if you're once you see this, you're on alert. Once you see this, you're on alert. When you get this, if you're like me, you're deer in the headlights because it's too fast. Now I'm below this. So I'm looking here, break, and my resistance is now here because it was support. See, resistance, break, high. Here, resistance, support, break low. Would have been nicer to come back here, but this is trading. So let's go. Let's see. Now remember, I was talking at 9:30. We have the IB, which I think is covered up. I don't know where there's two pieces now. 9:30, we have the IB stat, which is somewhere around here. I think it's covered up. I can't tell. And over 90% probability, we take it out. We have the ETH low, over 90% probability, we take it out. And what else? Yesterday's low, over 80% probability, we take it out. Where is the IB? I guess it's under here. So 9:30. And this is a target down below 60.30, not a recommendation. I hope that's correct. Are you guys tracking? I hope I'm getting this in the right place for you guys. Things are a little murky. Where's that IB? Guys, where's the IB? Is it covered up over here? IB low? Trader Lab, where's the IB low? 62.75. Okay, right here. So there's over 90% probability we take this out. VPOC migration, something I did a special webinar on, suggests this is the new retail price. Now, what is out here? Low volume node. I'm just going to mark it. What is a low volume node? You're going to ask me. It's a place where there was an acceleration and it's an outside edge of a distribution. And that's what creates the low volume because the market doesn't auction it. It just rips through it. The tendency of the market is to come back to these areas to see, is this really too high? And if it is too high, we're going to come back here. And since we have targets below, potentially fall out the bottom. Let's look at our structure. So VPOC migration, two possibilities, fall out or rotate through to this outside edge. I have volume here from over here, and now I'm going to look for another short or just continuation. Let's watch. Where's my resistance? Isn't this it? Watch. See this? Now I'm going down, and I know this is hard because I'm narrating the market. It doesn't necessarily mean I take a short here. I could if it's my trade plan, but this is where I have to scale. If I'm just managing my trade, my stop is going to be further away from this because I know I can come up here. So I would be out here someplace. And the reason, you're going to ask me why, because I have a 90% probability at 9:30 to take this out, over 90. And I have over 90% probability for this, and I have about an 80-ish% probability for yesterday's low. Why would I not hold? You see what I'm saying? So anyway, this is microstructure. There's the micro high volume right there. It is resistance created by the sellers are here, the buyers are here, the buyers get thrown under the bus, and this is resistance, and that's resistance. And the outside edge is here. So for me, I want to be a little further away and protect behind this high volume. So, and the thing you need to know, when you have a low volume node, which is what it looks like here because we ripped down, it's a swing. And often what's going to happen is we're going to come through it and take stops. And then if those stops are absorbed by the passive side or the icebergs, then we'll come back here. And you learn this in Trader Lab. Let's watch. Notice the test. So what was too high? That's too high. Microstructure is here. Let me show it to you. I just want you to see how the auction works. No perfecto. What's this? Too high. Too high. Where would my stop be? Back here. Okay? And if I take a stop back there, I'm going to feel just like you. That's an emotional thing. It has nothing to do with trading. It has to do with my, quote, feelings. What's this? This is a potential short in Trader Lab for a continuation trade. It's a structured trade. This, a little different, but if you didn't get involved here, you would be able to get involved here if you vet the trade. Also, stop sweep. What happens with these sweeps? Often, what do you get? Counter rotation. What do you get up here? Back to where we broke away. You see how you put pieces together? Now, I know it's a lot. You don't have to be this busy. You can zoom out and be keeping your stop out here or at this volume and just say, I'm not messing with any of this. Or if you're shorter term oriented, you can operate in this. I don't, because mentally it's exhausting, and I don't trade for this. I trade for much larger swings. So I try to trade less, but I also look at these structures in my time frame, and your time frame and my time frame are not going to be the same. But I'm going to suggest that you vet things so you know where your edge shows up. You may trade very actively and find out that you're just throwing dollars out the window. You probably wouldn't keep doing it, would you? Because that's really a dopamine fix and gambling. If you don't have an edge, why would you do it? Sweep. Potential for a reversal. Let's see. Or not. It's a sweep. Let's watch. Now I get a sweep here, buyers. I get a sweep here. If I get a buying sweep, I'm sorry, it can continue down. I get a selling sweep. It can go up. Let's see what it does. Wow, they're really sweeping the heck out of this thing. So, selling sweep, upside rotation. Buying sweep, downside rotation. Buying sweep, looking for the downside rotation. Don't get it. Absorption is here. Let's just watch. Yesterday's low, always contested, always can push in. If I'm outside of yesterday's range, I have no reason to be thinking along. Would you? Not me. VPOC migration. Remember the possibilities. Up for mean reversion or continuation. Drops down, it's like dropping I used to call it the anvil because it would drop, boom, down. So there's no reason to be anything but short at the moment. Let's watch. Now, what happens here that changes things? Absorption, sweep, selling sweep. What happens often on a sweep? Reversal. Come back above here. Now, here's the possibilities. Rotate here. If it's right back here. If it's too low, selling sweep. What's the possibilities? Reversal. Buying sweep. What's the possibilities? Down. What happens? Up. Squeezeteria. Let's watch. Having some weird stuff going on here. Outside edge. Low volume area. Now, you could be done with this trade. So there's really, you have to determine We have a lot of absorption here, whether this is a structured trade. For me, it's not. So I would very well be out of this thing, and that would be it for me at this time. Now, remember, at 9:30, there was that IB stat, high probability, and then we're looking for potential rotations down because we have a target down below at 39.75 would be a breakout, and the target that's still open, let me give it to you. Well, I wish I didn't have all these technical problems here. Our open target is around 60.30, and that is on the price map that we went over at the top of the stream. Yeah, this is our target, and it's not a recommendation, but that's on the price map. So that is what we're going for. So for me, if I'm out of my trade, I'm just going to be looking for continuation shorts towards the target. But in the meantime, not so much. Let's see what we got now in real time. Let's look here. We're in real time now. Let's come back. This is too high. This is resistance. Break high. Break low. I should say break low, resistance. If I come across here, this is where I'm coming. If I can't get across here, I'm looking for continuation shorts. That's it. All naked volume, I'm getting a question in Discord. All naked volume control are valid. There's no such thing as an invalid one, because the reason for it is the way the market works. So remember, we were on the long side this morning, and the idea this morning when we got the first trades were longs was to take out these shorts, and the naked volume point of control is up here at 96. So that was my trade plan. I posted that in Trader Lab along with this before any of this. Now, when we come back in the other direction, it means now the longs in this consolidation have their stops down here. This is on the hip parade. We left this behind, and this was the naked volume point of control. If this is now too high, then we come under here because the longs have their stops, then this is the target. And of course we can, do anything. We never have to get here. We might just come under here, come back in after we take the shorts, the longs out over here, get the sell stops. It's not for me to predict. What I do is I know levels, I know why they're created, and the other part is I know what they mean. I also know I don't know what will happen, so I don't try to figure that out. I know what might happen, and I use statistics and probabilities. If I find out I'm upside down in a trade, and either I take a stop or whatever happens, then I just turn the barge around. This is my next target because of the sell stops under these guys and these guys, and then this is my final target. And if I take out 30, I could come to 15, but right now this is my next. So there and there are my next targets. I hope that answers everybody's questions, and I'm in real time now. The reason I do the stream this way, so you guys know, I narrate in real time in the Trader Lab, in the Bookmap Discord Trader Lab community. The idea of this stream is to help traders understand how the market works. I have in the Trader Lab library streams that were recorded that are up to 5 hours long of real-time narration. If you want to see real-time narration, other than what I do now that the market is live, come to the Bookmap Discord Trader Lab. There is no cost, and there's a link in the bottom of YouTube, and then you can, access all these streams. 4 hours, 5 hours. I used to stream a lot longer. So I am a full-time trader, and I use this methodology to trade. And I'm like you. I take stops. I manage my risk. My goal is to get risk neutral. Let's be real. Casinos play the gamblers, but they only play games that have a statistical edge. And over a random distribution of outcomes, because they only play games with an edge, they extract the dollars from the gamblers. The thing about it is, cards coming out of a deck are random, and gamblers play the cards randomly. What does the casino do? Only plays games that have an edge. So even though that distribution of outcomes is random and they do pay to gamblers, and we take stops and pay, let's consider it the other participants, or the gamblers, if you wish. If you have a structured, vetted trade plan or game, we're just using a proven business model, gaming, then if you can execute it, which is also a problem because it's counterintuitive, we are risk adverse, we're wired that way, another problem. Statistics, then, if you can execute it, are going to extract the dollars to you over time. The other part is because of the randomness and uncertainty, you're going to be pushing back against your instincts to avoid risk and uncertainty. It's just part of our primal wiring. The way I have found, and members of Trader Lab have found, and you can find this too, is to do the work to know which game, if you will, or trade has an edge that favors you, and not interact when there isn't one. Does that make sense? I hope I answered your question about the naked VPOC ballot, which is down at 30. Does that make sense? How we doing in YouTube? And please give a thumb up. Apologies for the truncated webinar and video. I am going to post these in the Bookmap Discord Trader Lab. They will not be made public in YouTube. Most of mine are, almost all of them I share. A lot of my webinars are exclusive only to Bookmap Discord Trader Lab. A lot is not posted out in YouTube. I do specialty webinars for Discord. In fact, there's one that is going to be available exclusively. Let me see if I can show this to you with all this trouble. Maybe not. A lot of trouble, guys, with the technology. So there's things I wanted to show you I can't. I do want to remind you there is a 50% off for the first month of this Stop an Iceberg or MBO package. If you ever wanted to try it, it was probably cool. And there's also the link in the bottom of YouTube. There's 60 PDFs of these structured trades that I share here in the stream that are all built out so you can kind of look at them. Now, these were done, 2020. I'm not a vendor, Yeah, thanks, Stephen. These were done. I'm not a vendor. There's no cost for this. A lot of traders were asking me, what am I doing? And I said, well, here's some ideas. You come to Trader Lab, but what you'd be able to do is reverse engineer these processes. These are live trades I took. I just took a screenshot and annotated them. I do not have a trading course because there's no cost for this. And I volunteer to give my time. And I've been trading going on 45 years. Most of what you've probably done, I've done it, and unfortunately spent more time and more years trying to make things work that were just random, but I thought it was about making it better. Not so much. And over the years, I threw all the indicators away because everything was conflicting, multiple time frames, and the fact you get a software package that's 150 indicators in it, what does that tell you? Think about it. Is it just the right indicators, the right mix, the right time frame? Put more indicators in to get more certainty, which is really your primal wiring. It's nothing to do with this business, right? Think of it. These are the things you can learn in Trader Lab. Trader Lab is really an advanced trader education portal. There's no cost for it, but you have to bring yourself and do the work, and it might require you change your beliefs. Just remember, back in the old days, mariners thought the world or the earth was flat, and if they sailed out to the horizon, they'd fall off the edge of the earth, and that belief was held for how long? Maybe a millennium. So, but that's not the truth. But we tend to do the things we believe to be true, even if they are not statistically valid. And that's why we work on making our process better, because everybody has winning trades. If you closed your eyes, you'd have a winning trade if you think about it and threw a dart at the board. Or we used to, on the trade desk, have a magic 8-ball. Sometimes it was just as good to ask that, and typically it would say ask again. So that's the world of trading is probably not what you think it is. You bring your experience from the outside world, which I understand. We all have done the same stuff. We've all walked in the same shoes. The difference is when you come to Trader Lab, you're going to be able to learn to differentiate between fantasy and this business. Doesn't mean you'll be successful. Nobody has a monopoly on, quote, the right thing. It's what becomes right for you and what is statistically valid. There is an open invitation to Trader Lab for you guys. You can use the link in the bottom of YouTube. There's no cost. And it's a community of like-minded traders who come together to leverage their collective experience. Senior Trader has over 50 years experience. I've got 45, both professionally and otherwise, and I think it may help you develop maybe into a career in the business of trading versus just passing through. Thanks for visiting Trader Lab. These streams will not be available in YouTube, but they will be available in the Bookmap Discord Trader Lab community. Sorry for the troubles. Hopefully we'll get things squared away for tomorrow, or I should say Monday. And don't forget, by the way, there are specials going on right now if you want to try different packages in Bookmap, end of the year thing. There's also special 12 trading tips available, only accessible through the Bookmap Discord server. That was just done by professional educators. And you guys can access that and all the additional education at no cost in the Bookmap Discord Trader Lab server. Stocks, options, crypto, order flow with a high tier tool like Bookmap, market maker behavior, algorithmic behavior, and so much more. Thanks again for visiting Trader Lab. Please give a thumb up in YouTube, and please accept my apologies for the technical issues. I am streaming from Costa Rica, and sometimes the monkeys get a little too involved. So take care. And remember, our targets below, not a recommendation, are 39.75, potential acceleration down to the 60.30 area. Take care. Catch you guys soon. See you on Monday. And by the way, Monday we will be trading the March contract. The December contract is expiring. We're going to adjust all our levels here to March. If you're in the Discord Bookmap Trader Lab community, remember to roll over and check your higher time frame levels. They may adjust slightly. You should adjust them by the spread between these and March. And as they say, act accordingly. Thanks again. Look forward to seeing you soon. Appreciate your patience with the technical issues.